DeAndre Swift injury update. Should fantasy managers be concerned about Bears RB ahead of Week 4? DeAndre Swift has long been a frustrating player for fantasy football managers, a talented back with flashes of brilliance, but just as often a source of headaches due to inconsistency and injuries. Now with the Chicago Bears, Swift has become a weekly flex option for many managers, though his roller-coaster stat lines and health concerns have left plenty of people second-guessing. As the Bears prepare for a critical Week 4 showdown against the Las Vegas Raiders, Swift's status is once again in question. The injury situation. According to ESPN, Swift is dealing with a hip injury. On the positive side, hip issues tend to be less worrisome long-term than knee or hamstring problems, which can linger and derail entire seasons. Still, any injury to a running back is a red flag, and Swift's history of bumps and bruises only adds to the uncertainty. On September 25th, Swift logged a limited practice, which is at least a good sign that he's trending toward playing. The Bears officially listed him as questionable, a designation that leaves the door open in either direction. That said, Swift has already played through a questionable tag this season, suiting up in Week 3 despite limited practice sessions throughout the week. Bears' motivation to get him on the field. Chicago currently sits at 1-2 and in last place in the NFC North. For a team that has struggled to find consistency, every game feels crucial. That urgency could push Swift onto the field even if he isn't at 100%. While that's encouraging for fantasy managers hoping to see him active, it also raises the risk of limited effectiveness or an in-game setback. Fantasy outlook for Week 4. For fantasy football purposes, Swift should still be considered a flex starter if he's active against the Raiders. Las Vegas currently ranks 19th in rushing defense, meaning there's room for Chicago's run game to find success. If the game stays competitive, Swift should see a healthy workload, giving him a chance at double-digit fantasy points. That said, managers would be wise to exercise caution. If you have another running back available to slot into your lineup temporarily, it's smart to hold off until Swift's status is officially confirmed on Sunday. Nothing is worse than locking in an injured player who ends up inactive or severely limited. The consistency problem. Even if Swift does play, there's another factor giving fantasy managers pause: his yards per carry. In 2 of 3 games this season, he has averaged fewer than 3.2 yards per attempt. That lack of efficiency is concerning, especially since running backs who fail to move the chains often see their workloads reduced. If that trend continues, the Bears coaching staff, led by offensive coordinator Ben Johnson, may eventually decide to give more touches to Swift's rookie backup. While the rookie is still unproven at the NFL level, his college resume includes averaging over 5.0 yards per carry, which could be tempting if Chicago feels they need a spark in the backfield. Long-term concerns. Swift's injury history is well documented, and it's one of the main reasons fantasy managers have always been hesitant to fully trust him. While the current hip injury doesn't seem season-threatening, it's worth remembering that Swift has rarely gone through an NFL season without missing time. If the Bears continue to struggle in the standings, there's also a chance the coaching staff could shake up the depth chart to evaluate younger players. That possibility adds another layer of risk for fantasy managers relying on Swift as a consistent starter. The bottom line. For Week 4, fantasy managers should prepare as though DeAndre Swift will play, but have a backup plan ready. He remains a viable flex option against a vulnerable Raiders defense, but his inconsistency and questionable health make him a risky start. In deeper leagues, he's worth rolling the dice on, but in shallower formats with other options available, benching him until his status is confirmed could be the safer play. Swift remains a talented player with the ability to break out in any given week, but until he proves he can stay healthy and productive consistently, fantasy managers are right to be cautious.